Hello everyone, back to today's first video. Got a busy day coming up at GazWebbiz today. We're going to have a look at the ECMWF 30-day ensembles for today's video. So we'll have a look at the temperature and precipitation ensembles that the ECMWF is predicting for the next month, broken down into weekly periods. This will be a new feature at GazWebbiz. You'll be seeing this every Tuesday and Friday. It updates twice a week, the 30-day ECMWF model. So I'll be able to bring you this update, or these updates, twice a week on a Tuesday and also on a Friday as well. Today's second video, we'll have a look at weather next week, 10 days, your usual sort of look ahead video. We're also going to have an update later on this afternoon for those festivals that's occurring over the bank holiday weekend. So it's kind of like a bank holiday weekend slash festivals update. Terry Scully is going to be issuing his summer forecast this evening. So there's going to be loads going on at the website. Do keep checking back for all of the updates today. But starting us off will be this 30-day look ahead with the ECMWF model. This is coming to you via the Hungarian Met Office. I wasn't aware, but apparently the Hungarian Met Office has been showing the 30-day ECMWF ensembles, which were quite highly restricted access stuff. They've been showing it for a little while now, but it's pointed out to me by somebody actually in the Weather Outlook forum a few days ago. And I've had a look, and yeah, it's the temperature and precipitation ensembles from the ECMWF via the Hungarian Met Office. So I'm on the homepage of the Hungarian Met Office right now. The link to the Hungarian Met Office is on the linked page. Let's go over to the page that has the temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next week. So this is it. This is week 1 temperature and precipitation anomalies from the ECMWF long-range model for the coming week. So this is the temperature anomaly for the 21st through to the 27th of May. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the height anomalies or the mean sea level pressure anomalies, but are causing these temperature and precipitation anomalies. But from the patterns, we can probably get a broad idea of where the highs and the lows are likely to be sitting. So, as I say, this is the temperature anomaly for week 1, starting off with. This is from the 21st, from yesterday, through to the 27th of May. The coming week is forecast by the ECM model to be a very warm week indeed across much of Europe, with the temperature anomalies over Scandinavia actually going up to nearly 10 degrees, or up to 10 degrees above average. So the UK, our temperature anomaly is coming out in the 3 to 6 Celsius range across many parts of the country. So it looks like it's going to be a very warm week coming up again. In terms of precipitation anomalies, this is how it's looking, and a bit of a north-south split across Europe actually. So for northern Europe, we're coming out substantially drier than average for the precipitation anomaly from the 21st through to the 27th of May. For southern Europe, though, it's actually coming out wetter. So a bit of a north-south split going on, and this is telling us, I think, where the high pressures are likely to be. So although we can't see a mean sea level pressure anomaly with this, I think we get the idea that it's still going for quite a lot of high pressure to be up around Scandinavia and also to the north and to the northwest of the British Isles, with the low pressure tending to be further south into Europe, the jet stream being directed down there somewhere, although some part of the jet will be going up here as well. So a split in the jet caused by that blocking area of high pressure that's dominating things across northern Europe. So a significantly warmer and drier than average week ahead for the coming week. Let's have a look at week 2. This one is taking us from the 28th of May through to the 3rd of June. Another very substantially warmer than average week coming up across many parts of Europe. Once again, highest temperature anomalies to average, according to the ECMWF, in week 2 from the end of May through to the early part of June, coming out across central and northern parts of Europe. So a really warm week coming up again across Central Europe. The UK, again, and Ireland also coming out significantly warmer than average. So the broad pattern for the next couple of weeks is very warm temperature anomalies. Notice a lot cooler, though, down across Spain and Portugal. What about precipitation anomalies? Still the idea, really, that we've got this north-south split going on, although you'll notice that France is going substantially wetter than average, as is much of Spain. Much of Spain is still wetter than average as well. The drier than average precipitation anomalies across northern Europe once more. Not as dry as we see in week 1, however. So I think what could be happening here is that a thundery breakdown could be taking place. Notice southern parts of England are now starting to come out a little bit wetter than average. So I think what's going on there is that we've got low pressure around France and Spain. It's pushing northwards. It's probably bringing a lot of thunder with it, and the high pressure that's been bringing this very warm and dry spell of weather is gradually starting to ease a little bit as this thundery breakdown begins to take place. So that's probably more of a breakdown type week there, from the 28th of May through to the 3rd of June. Let's extend out further. We can go through to week 3. So this is the week 3 temperature anomaly from the ECMWF. This is going from the 4th through to the 10th of June. And this one, it looks a little bit cooler in week 3. So we find that it's still warmer than average, but the warmest anomalies to average are actually moving more towards the east, possibly the southeast of Europe. So much of the northwest of Europe is still a bit warmer than average. Scandinavia, down to Germany, down to France, into the UK and Ireland, still coming out a bit warmer than average, but nowhere near as high an anomaly to average as we have in weeks 1 and 2. So it does appear as though the northwest of Europe is now starting to cool down as we go through this week from the 4th through to the 10th of June. And the warmer than average anomalies are probably transferring through to the east and maybe the southeast of Europe. Significantly cooler, particularly for Scandinavia, but also for large parts of the UK. And then as far as precipitation anomalies are concerned, for week 3, going from the 4th to the 10th of June, well, we find it's it's probably going to be a much more unsettled week, because although we have only got, most places are having average precipitation anomalies here, but of course that is wetter, quite a bit wetter. It's going to be quite a bit wetter compared to what we have in weeks 1 and 2, especially for northern and central parts of Europe. So these areas just here, where it has been very dry, now we're just going to average precipitation on it. So obviously it's more unsettled. There's more rainfall coming through. As far as the UK and Ireland is concerned, our precipitation has gone towards average. So it implies a return, I think, maybe to more of a westerly flow, actually, as we go through to the early part of June. We get rid of this blocking high pressure, possibly shift to a rather more westerly type flow. And then we go through to the final week. This is week 4, temperature anomalies from the ECMWF. And a bit of an east-west split is setting up then across Europe. So the warmer than average temperature anomalies are definitely transferring into the eastern part of Europe. So all of those eastern areas and down into the southeast too, coming out with warmer than average temperature anomalies. The west of Europe, so Spain, Portugal, France, much of Germany, much of the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Denmark, up to Scandinavia, over to the UK and Ireland, these areas are coming out just with average temperatures. So it's definitely a cool down taking place here as we go into June. We start off very warm across much of particularly central but also western Europe through the first 2 weeks, then go through to the final 2 weeks, and we see that warmth transferring to the east of Europe, with central and western parts of Europe coming out substantially drier than cooler, I should say, or substantially cooler. Not cooler than average, but substantially cooler. As far as precipitation anomalies are concerned, again, weak signals, but it does, to me, appear that it's turning a little bit more unsettled here across northern parts of Europe. So the precipitation anomalies are just average generally, but hinting perhaps of being a little bit wetter than average, especially over towards parts of northern Scandinavia, northeastern Europe, but also potentially a little bit showery across the UK and Ireland. Weak signals for precipitation in weeks 3 and 4, but compared to what we have in weeks 1 and 2, I think again this is indicating that we are seeing a change towards a more westerly flow. And I think we see that particularly from the temperature anomaly in week 4, with the high pressure bringing these warmer than average temperatures to eastern parts of Europe, but out here with cooler than average. So I think there's been quite a bit of low pressure in the Atlantic, and I think we're seeing the signs of the westerlies returning, the return of the westerlies as we go into June, which is something we see quite regularly. Actually, we do get that, this idea that in May we get a lot of blocking, we tend to get a lot of easterly winds in May. But then we get through to June and we often see a return of the westerlies. Some people call that the June monsoon or the summer monsoon for western parts of Europe. We can have some very wet weather in June. There is no suggestion of that at the moment with the ECMWF 30-day forecast. There's no suggestion of the June monsoon, but certainly a change to a more westerly flow, I think, is being predicted here by the ECM, which would obviously be cooler. We would lose these southerly and southeasterly winds that we've been getting quite a bit through May, giving us this very warm spell of weather. So we would lose that, and it would also be more unsettled. Whilst there's no suggestion of the June monsoon, it does look as though it could well be turning a little bit more unsettled and cooler across western and central parts of Europe as we go into June. But for the next couple of weeks, still a lot of warmth and potentially quite a lot of dry weather to come as well, albeit with an increasing risk as we go further on, particularly to week 2, of thunder, heavy rain moving up from the south. Right, let me know what you think via the comments. It's a new feature at Gazobit, so if you enjoyed this video, click like on the video, and as I say, let me know through the comments if you want to see more. I'm planning on having this a regular feature on a Tuesday and a Friday when the ECM WF model updates twice a week. Coming up this afternoon, we're going to have a look at the weather next week 10 days, your usual regular week 10 day weather forecast video. We'll also have a look at those festivals that are occurring over the bank holiday weekend. Maybe tonight we've got Terry's Golly summer forecast. So come back for all the updates. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.